If I were going to start a soap business now, knowing what I know now, but kind of getting a fresh start at it, what would I do? How would I get started? In the next few videos, we're going to dive into this brainstorm I've done of what are the things that I would absolutely start with if I were going to start my soap business now instead of 7 years ago like we have. We're going to take the next few videos to dive in. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk about how I would start my soap business if I had to start it today. The first thing that I would do if I were going to start my soap business today, it's kind of a inner mental thing, and this is just some things to be thinking about. But the first thing that I would want to realize is that if I've never built a soap business before, there's going to be some learning that I need to do. And I feel like people get kind of hung up in this on one side or the other of this issue. One is that they feel like if they're supposed to have a business, then they should know how to build it. They should already know. They should know all the ways to get people's attention, and they should know how to build a website, and they should know how to go to craft shows or how to sell soap or whatever. And they feel like if they don't know or if they can't figure it out, then this is not for them. Like maybe they don't deserve it, or they're not businessy enough to get this going. And that's like on one side of the issue, is just realizing that everything that people are really good at, they had to learn along the way. And if you haven't had the experience of building a business in the past, then you don't have that experience. You don't have anything to draw on. And that's not a failure. That's not a deficit in you. That's not saying you can't do this. It's just saying you're going to have a little bit of learning to do along the process or along the way. So don't be scared to jump in and do some of that learning. Don't feel like, like this isn't for you just because you don't know it already. You can learn it along the way. That's totally fine. And lots of people do it that way. So don't feel bad if you don't already know how to do it. You just have some things along the way to learn, and that's totally fine. On the other side of that issue, learning can be taken too far. And I know that sounds silly, but it can. Because people who are trying to figure this thing out tend to get stuck in learning phase. And they spend all their time watching videos, doing research, Googling this, looking at that. And pretty soon they have so much information that they get overwhelmed. And that's another spot where you get stuck. It's kind of the other side of the learning question. But trying to do your learning, but avoiding overwhelm in the process. This is the number one reason why people why they fail at building a soap business, is because they never get started. They get stuck in one of these two things, either feeling like they can't build a business because they don't know how, or that there's so much information, there's so many things that they just get overwhelmed. They have no idea how to organize all this information. They have no idea how to break through and actually get started. So let's talk a little bit more about this, the information that you're going to need to get started in your soap making. First of all, realizing that you're going to need to do some learning. It's okay to be a student. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to be a beginner soap maker. I've talked about that before in our other soap making videos. It's okay that this is something you're going to need. This is a skill you're going to need to learn. Same for building a business. It's okay to be a beginner. Give yourself grace to kind of stumble through a little bit, but also to need to gather that information. Totally okay. Unless you've built a business before, you're going to need that information. You might even need some help knowing what to do and knowing how to get started. Anyone who's getting started with something new has this phase where unless you've done it before, you're going to need some help like doing this thing going forward. Think about kids who are learning to play basketball. They don't come onto the court knowing how to shoot a 3-pointer. That's something that they have to work up to. That's skills that they have to develop. They have to work on this, and they're going to need some coaching and some help along the way to know how to get to that end goal of shooting a 3-pointer. But nobody expects them to come onto the court already knowing these things. They know they're going to have to do the learning and the work to get there. So, too much information, however, can cause confusion. If, let's use that same example, if we just gave this kid all this information about basketball, but we didn't tell him what drills to do next, he would get all spun out with all this stuff he thinks he's supposed to be doing and probably never do the right things to actually get to that goal. So this is the spot that I feel like a lot of people get stuck in. They are watching, well, let's just use this example for a moment. You can answer these questions for yourself. Do you watch other people's soap videos? Do you watch other soap makers, what they're doing and whatever projects they're working on? Do you watch other people's soap business videos, like how to create a soap business and all of that? Now, in all of those videos, do all of them agree? Pick a topic. Do all of them agree? And I would bet you that if you are looking at just 2 different soap makers, you have 2 different opinions because that's how this works. So if you now are watching multiple people, you have all these different opinions and they're giving you tips on this and tips on that and blah, 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 blah. But none of them is like, it's all just a list of tips, but there isn't a concrete plan, especially if you're bouncing from one person to the next. So it gets you stuck in something I'm going to call information paralysis. You have so much information, but you don't know what to do with any of it. and that just keeps you spinning around trying to figure out, like, I've done all this learning, but I just don't know what to do with it. Information paralysis, it just keeps you spinning instead of moving forward. At some point, you're going to need to learn by doing. So go to all of these people, kind of look at all of your options, all of your sources here, and find people who have a path that you can follow. Probably this is going to cost you money because usually you're going to need to purchase their coaching or purchase their program or whatever to help get clarity on how you move from where you are to where you want to be. But choose one path and stick to it. Don't bounce from coach to coach or person to person. Find that coach, someone to show you the way, and then stick with it. Push all the way to the end of whatever it is that you choose. This is a way to help organize all of that information and just get a straight shot from here to there and get, like I said, just getting you from where you are to where you want to be in as straight and short a line as possible. So finding a good information source, this is a key for getting you started on this path. Remember, picking information, like cherry picking information from all different people, all different YouTube videos, all different Google searches, all different websites, that isn't going to be helpful. Pick one that you trust, you like, you know them, you trust them, and stick with them and go from where you are. Like, trust them to take you from here to the end. So what are some options of things that you could do? Now, obviously, this applies to other people and not just me, but options are to pick a YouTube channel and stick with it. You could like and subscribe to this channel and know that we're gonna give you as much information as we can about getting from here to there. You could also join an email list. Our email list is linked in the description of the video. It's our business tips email list. So you could just get a little nugget, a little something every week. But from us, from the same person. So we're going to give you, again, all of our stuff is going to take you on one path instead of, bouncing around to all kinds of different paths and different people's opinions. We also have 2 things that are available to you. One that's coming and one that's available now. The one that's coming is we have something called Soapmaking Week, and our next one is coming up pretty quick. So there is, you can watch for that. If you are on that business tips email list, you will know when our next soap making week is coming up. We'll notify you. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 there. If you join that email list, you will also be told about soap making week. In soap making week, we get 3 things. Well, you have we hint at 3 things here. One is we're going to teach you how to make soap. If this sounds like fun, but you've never made soap, that is a great jumping off place for you. Like, we're going to get you started. We're also going to show you about our soap making membership called Sassy Soapers, which is a great way to grow that skill. Like, now I've made soap, I've done it once, but now I know that if I'm going to sell soap, I'm going to need more than just one kind. We're going to help you get all of that, like help you grow those skills and help you keep expanding what you can produce in your soap making. We will also, like, once you're in Sassy Soapers, we have a live business class that comes around once a year, and you will also be informed about that. So if you've learned to make soap, you're busy expanding those skills, and now you need an outlet for that, we can also help you on that end too. So it's kind of this is a starting spot, soap making week, but there's a long path here that we can help you down as far as learning to make the soap and also getting going on your business as well. Now, if that all sounds great and you're thinking, I'm already part of the way down this path because I know how to make soap and I've been busy with expanding my skills, but this is typical for soap makers. If you've been making soap for any length of time, you have a shelving unit that's full of soap. You have soap on top of your fridge. You have the counter in your kitchen has some of your most recent soaps drying on it. And you've got a shelf in the closet of your bedroom. And you've got some in the bathroom and some in your pantry. And like, you've got soap everywhere. And it doesn't take very long for you to realize, I need an outlet for this soap. I need a plan for what am I going to do with this? Because one, I love making it. And it will really benefit people, but I need to connect those dots, or I'm just going to end up with my house cram-packed full of soap. And then I might have to stop making it sheerly because I'm out of space to store it. And that would be a shame, because if you have a passion for making soap, there are people out there who need it. And we just need to connect the dots between them and you. So if that's you, if you have soap stacking up all around your house and you're feeling, maybe you even have a family member who is saying, there's a lot of soap in this house, and what's our plan here? What are we doing? Where are we heading with this soap? If that's maybe you're sitting in that right now. We have a business course. It's called Build Your Business. And the one that's available right now is our self-study course. You get all of the teaching, all the learning, all the assignments, and you can start it now and take it at your own pace. When you purchase this self-study course, you also get a ticket to our next live Build Your Business class. And there you can take all this learning and all of the things you've kind of got started and bring it to the live class where there's conversation, there's other people, there's a place where you can bounce ideas off of other people. It adds a whole dimension to that learning by being able to do this with other people. So that's what we have available now. Again, the link to our Build Your Business Self-Study course is in the description. This is a great way to just break through all of the information, all of the learning that you've been doing, all of the confusion and overwhelm that you've been kind of wrestling with. This is a place to get started. We give you everything you're going to need to get your business up and running in small steps. Excuse me. We're going to take it one step at a time. And in these incremental steps, we're going to keep you moving forward and keep you just adding one thing on top of the other. So pretty soon you've got this little baby business built that's ready to launch and to get your soaps out into the world. If you truly want a soap business and you've never built a business before, you're going to need some help. And it's really wise to realize, like, where are those spots? Like, where are the spots where I am the master? I know what I'm doing. I got this. I am good. And then where are the spots where you go, that's not a strong suit for me. That's maybe a spot where I'm definitely going to need to do some learning, but maybe I'm even going to need a little help along the way. Don't feel like you're failing there to say, I have a spot where I'm going to need a coach or I'm going to need some help. That's wisdom. That's wisdom to know that, okay, this is a spot where I need to invest a little bit in me, in this vision, in this dream of having this business. And that's wisdom to realize that's where you are. It keeps you moving forward and it gets you to your end goal faster when you are walking the path with someone else who's been there before. Like, it just speeds that along, and you don't spend all the time trying to find the information on your own or trying to figure out what to do next. It's all laid out, and this can really, really benefit you and your future business. So don't assume that by watching more YouTube videos and doing more Google searches that you will get what you're looking for. Find your information source with a concrete path and stick to it. Little by little, you're going to get where you want to be. Another thing I would do if I were starting my soap businesses now is a topic that most people are pretty uncomfortable with. It starts with an M, and it can make people feel pretty nervous, but it doesn't need to be that way. And once you get used to it, it can be a lot of fun. So let me show you what this is and how to make it fun in our next video. I'll see you there.